There's a version of you that doesn't spiral at 2 a.m., a version of you that reads a text from your boss, shrugs, and goes right back to what he was doing. That version isn't luckier than you. He just knows something you've forgotten. Most people treat overthinking like a personality trait. I'm an overthinker, they say, like it's a zodiac sign, as if the mental noise is hardwired, just the price of having a brain that works. The Stoics saw it differently. They didn't see overthinking as who you are. They saw it as a discipline problem, and discipline can be trained. Marcus Aurelius wrote an entire book to himself, Meditations, and if you read it closely, half of it is just him talking himself down from the ledge. The Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the world, up at night running conversations in his head that never happened, just like you. So he built rules, not theories, rules. 3 of them. And once you see them, the noise doesn't stand a chance. Rule 1, the 24-hour courtroom. Here's how most of us handle a mistake. You say something awkward in a meeting. You fire off an email and immediately regret it. You snap at your partner over something stupid. And then, this is where the overthinker separates from the Stoic. You prosecute yourself for days. You replay the moment from every angle. You imagine what everyone must be thinking. You build an entire trial in your head where you're simultaneously the defendant, the prosecutor, and the judge who has already decided you're guilty. Seneca had a rule for this. He called it the evening review. I call it the 24-hour courtroom. Here's how it works. You get 24 hours to feel the sting. That's it. You can replay it, cringe at it, wish you'd done it differently for one day. Then the case is closed. The jury is dismissed. You don't get to reopen it. Because here's what Seneca understood that we forget. When you replay a mistake for the 10th time, you're not learning from it anymore. You're just punishing yourself. And punishment without a lesson is just self-harm dressed up as reflection. So the next time you catch yourself 3 days deep into a spiral about something that happened Tuesday, ask yourself, am I actually learning anything new right now? Or am I just running laps in a prison I built? Rule 2, the poison test. This one comes from Epictetus, and it's brutal in its simplicity. He said, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. That sounds like a bumper sticker until you actually use it. Let me give you a real example. You send a text to someone and they leave you on read. Immediately, your brain fires up the factory. What did I say wrong? Are they mad at me? Did I come off too strong? Maybe I should send another text to clarify. No, that's desperate. But what if they think I'm ignoring them now? That storm? That's not the text doing that. The text is just pixels on a screen. The storm is coming from the story you're telling yourself about what the silence means. Epictetus' solution was what I call the poison test. When a thought shows up, ask yourself one question. Is this about something I control or something I don't? Because if someone is actually mad at you, you can address it. That's in your control. And if they're not mad, if they just got busy or forgot or their phone died, then you just spent 3 hours swimming in poison over a story you made up. Most people never ask the question. They just drink the poison. A Stoic stops and reads the label first. Rule 3, the death filter. This one sounds dark. Stick with me. Marcus Aurelius had this habit, and I'll warn you it's uncomfortable, of imagining his own death. Not in a morbid way, as a clarity tool. He would ask himself, if this were my last day, would this thing I'm obsessing over matter? Not would it matter to the world, would it matter to me from the perspective of my deathbed? Here's what happens when you actually do this. The email you sent with the typo? Gone. The awkward thing you said at dinner 3 weeks ago? Gone. The way your coworker looked at you sideways that one time? Gone. What's left? Your relationships, your purpose. whether you showed up as the person you want to be. The overthinking mind treats every problem as equal weight. It can't tell the difference between my boss looked at me funny and my marriage is falling apart. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels catastrophic. The death filter is how you teach it the difference. It's not about being morbid, it's about being honest. When you look at your problems through the lens of your last day, 90% of them don't survive the filter. And the 10% that do, those are the only ones worth your energy anyway. Here's what these 3 rules have in common. They all do the same thing. They put distance between you and your thoughts. The 24-hour courtroom puts a timer on self-prosecution. The poison test forces you to check whether the thought is even about something real. The death filter zooms you out until you can see what actually matters. Overthinking isn't a sign that you're deep or self-aware. It's a sign that you've mistaken mental noise for mental work. You feel like you're doing something because your brain is busy, but spinning isn't moving. The Stoics didn't have quiet minds because their lives were easy. Marcus Aurelius led armies through plague and war. Seneca was exiled and later ordered to kill himself. Epictetus was born a slave. These weren't men with stress-free lives. They had quiet minds because they trained them every day. Not by avoiding hard things, but by learning which hard things were actually theirs to carry. You can do the same. Pick one of these rules and try it for a week. The 24-hour courtroom is the easiest place to start. When you catch yourself replaying something, check the clock. Have you already done your 24 hours? Then the case is closed. Move on. It'll feel wrong at first. Your brain will want to keep chewing. That's fine. Let it want. You don't have to give it what it wants. This channel is about taking the ancient tools that actually work and putting them in your hands. Not as theory, but as something you can use tomorrow morning when your brain starts spinning before your feet even hit the floor. If that sounds like something you need, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of people who are done with the noise and ready to get quiet, get clear, and get moving. Love and respect.